Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to tell you what is paging or pagination and why it is important. And as promised, I will take the web API that we created for a customer to show in ASP.NET 6. We will be paginating it. So this will be some interesting times ahead. Now, what is paging? So paging or pagination is the process that a browser can return just a small number of records as a paged response when a request that hits an endpoint, which returns thousands of, or even sometimes millions, hundreds of thousands of records in one go. So it is just a paged response to manage the response in a nice manner so that it returns only a few results, as we will see soon. So without paging, if a large number of users browse to the same API endpoint simultaneously, it will practically kill the server. Say a large number of, say, hundreds of users browse or almost at the same time to the same API endpoint, you can see how severely that server will be hit. And with paging, if you send a request to a web API with page number and page size over a query string, ASP.NET Web API returns only that many records that you want, nothing more. And I will show you a small demonstration in a GIF image. This is what the ultimate product will look like. In last time we created the API/customer and it was not paged, but this time it will look something like this. It will be paged. See, first page, last page, total number of total pages, total records. So I will not be giving you the previous page and the next page URL to keep it simple, but we'll have some interesting times ahead. So let's switch over to Visual Studio and start coding from where we left last time. And in the last video on which basis this is being made will be in the description. Okay, so let's switch over to Visual Studio now without any further ado, any delay. So this is the project that we left with the customer model with ID, first name, last name, contact, email property, and we have done a migration already. And we have got this, we have already created the database, and we have got this controller, customer controller, which is the main thing in contention, which we automatically generated through the templated API that I showed in the last video. So if you haven't visited that last video, I strongly recommend that you could do that. Otherwise, you can also straightly away see this video to, if you are already sure about how to make, if you are already confident of making a web API. So before we move forward, let's actually see what was the endpoint look like. So I will just run this application once more. So this one. So this is how the customer endpoint API/customer will look like. So I have created about 500 records with the help of that website generatedata.com, which helps you create some mock data very quickly and customize it as well. So ID, first name, last name, contact, email. Now this is our basis, this is our starting point, and we'll get back to achieving what I have shown you in the beginning with that GIF image, okay, with the pagination or paging. All right, so first thing first, we have already set up the web API project, and then we'll create a wrapper for API endpoints. Now it's always a good practice to add wrappers to your API response. So what is a wrapper? Now instead of just returning the data in the response, if you have a possibility to return other parameters like error messages, response status, page number, data, page size, and so on. You get the point? Yes. Now, before we move much further, let me tell you that this is based on an article from my friend, and I will give his due credit. His name is Mukesh Murugan, and codewithmukesh.com is his blog site, which has got such very useful resources. All right, so this is based on that article. So now coming back to the wrappers, instead of just returning list of customer, we'll return response list of customer. So what we'll do, we'll create a wrappers folder and create a response class. So right click, so we'll add a new folder, wrappers. Response. So it will create a response class. I'll come back to this squiggly line. Adding namespace requires restarting the application. Okay, so we'll restart the application, make Ctrl+Shift+B to build it, so it will get rid of this squiggly line, which is magic in ASP.NET Core. So after it builds, this namespace squiggly line will be removed. Okay, I'll come back. So it has already removed it. So I will now copy over the automatically created response class with this code that I have got. Now you can see this is the public response, this is the constructor, and there is another constructor which has got an argument of t, generic t, which is of type data. So we have actually created a few public properties. So one is data, public t, it returns a particular type of generic type. T means generic type, and then succeeded and errors, string message, string error message, string array of errors, and the string message. Okay, so we'll take it to the next stage. Now this is a pretty straightforward wrapper class. It can show you the status. Okay, the status, that means the messages, errors, and data. Okay, and the data itself, which is t. This is how you ideally want to expose your API endpoints, and we'll now modify our customer controller with get by ID method. Okay, the customer with a particular ID. So we'll come back later. Now next, I have come back to the customer controller, and my default code for getting a customer by ID is get customer, which I will change to make it sound more meaningful. So I will change it to get by ID or get customer by ID, and passing ID, which is an int, and then I'll just change the signature a bit of this method. So I don't need, I'll make it just a bit simple. Public async task and task on the action result. Action result type, and then I'll change this return not found. That's fine, but I will just write to make it more simple. So I'll make var customer equals await context dot customers dot where. Rather than find async ID, I will use the lambda expression. Equal to the past ID dot first or default. First or default async. This is asynchronous method. Okay, right, and I'll also get rid of this, and then return. I'll wrap the response in the response class. So return with OK. Don't worry about the squiggly line, I'll come back to them in a bit. So new response customer and customer. Okay, there's a customer class and this is customer, and then end circular braces. What this is telling, the type of namespace is cannot be found, so show the light bulb. This is suggesting that I am not added a library, which is this one, using ASP NET 6 web API demo.wrappers. Okay, so now I have added this using ASP NET 6 web API demo.wrappers, and it's all taken back, and then I will just build it to get rid of this. I will save it first. Let's try hot reload. Apply, rebuild and apply changes. This is a new feature in ASP.NET 6. It's building by itself, and this has taken care of this squiggly line, all gone. And if I wish to again hit the API / customer, it will return all the results. But if I wish to see just one ID for one customer, so this is ID1, and then you have got this it is wrapped into this response class wrapper, succeeded true, error is null, message nil. Or any other customer you can look into. That's also another customer, first name, last name, contact and email. Okay, and if you get rid of this, you can check, just verify ID, first name Samuel, last name Floors. So look into, for all the customers, the same, first name Samuel, last name Floors. Okay, contact and email. Right, so we are partly there. Now we have just seen that from our API we have shown two possibilities of responses. One is the paged data, which is a list of all the customers, or a single record with no paged data, that is a single customer by ID. Right, now we will extend the base class by adding pagination property. So we'll create another class within a wrappers folder, which is known as paged response. So wrappers we have already created. So add class paged response. So this is the paged response class, and it has to be rebuilt to get rid of the squiggly line. Don't worry about that, we'll come back to it. So I will copy the code with me and then write it over the existing code just to save time. And see, this is the response class is acting as the base class from which paged response derives. Okay, so it has extended the response class, and it has got page number, for page size, first page. I will not go for these URIs, just to keep it simple and short and sweet. Okay, and then public URI, next page and previous page. I don't want these. Okay, and then I will build it again, Control Shift B, the hotkey combination, and this will take care of this squiggly lines. All right, so this is still quite a lot of properties to work with, rather, because I have taken care of the first page, last page, and next page, previous page URI, so it's not that much, but originally it was much more. So we have got page size, number, okay, and total pages and total records. Okay, and then we'll start working upon our controller. So we will change come back to the customer controller, and instead of get customers, I will change it to get all, or get all customers. So I will just change the entire code by copying it over from my clipboard, which is get all. You could easily make it get all customers. So this is the squiggly line because there's no context, but with underscore. Okay, context dot, it should be, let's see on the IntelliSense, context dot customers, not customer, customers dot to list async. All right, and then we'll again build it. Again, Control Shift B, a quick combination of keys to build it. So you got rid of this squiggly lines. Now this is what our controller looks like. Get all, HTTP get verb, get rid of one more, Control S. Okay, to save it, the file, we'll be modifying this method to accommodate pagination. For starters, we'd ideally need the required page parameters on the query string of the request, so that request will be like this, something like this. Say something, query string will be something like this. Okay, say localhost, whatever the port number was, not 44312, but the one for my application /API/customer page number equals 3, page size equal 10. You could change that page size and page number, and it will return the result appropriately. Okay, now we'll call this model as Pagination Filter. So I will create a new class Pagination Filter in a new folder called Filter. So right click, add folder, filter, and then right click again and click on add class. Excuse me, my typing. Pagination Filter. So Pagination Filter. Now in this class, this is a short class, so I will just quickly write from the beginning. Just follow me. There's a couple of public properties. So prop, this is a quick pro tip, prop tap. So public, it automatically creates a my property, which you can change the name. This is a public property, and this will be, instead of my property, I will name this page number. Page number get set, and then the second one is page size. Get set. And then a constructor. CTR is a shortcut public pagination filter. This is parameterless constructor. This dot page number equals 1, and this dot page tap to accept. Okay, yep. And this dot page says 10, tap to accept. See how intelligent Visual Studio 2022 has become. It has got some IntelliSense, not only IntelliSense, but it has got, you know, some artificial intelligence built into it, so it expects you to code this way. I mean, based upon hundreds and thousands of code snippets they have studied in the model, so it has come to the conclusion that this is the most likable, you know, code that the developer would like to write. Okay, but sometimes you need to change. Most of the times you need to change. Okay, so the next public constructor will be again CTR, and this is not parameterless, but this will have some parameter. Int page number, page size. Okay, so this is a dependency injection sort of. Okay, and then the page number on this page number equals the sublime parameter, page number, and then page size equals page size. Again, it has helped you in completing the task, completing the code. That's great, superb. Okay, and there is a page number equals page number, page size equals page size. That's right, but it's still not complete. This dot page number, okay, rather that's fine. I may not write the this. So page number, if it is less than 1, compound statement this time, then take the value question mark, take the value 1. If it is not less than 1 or more, then it is the actual page number. Okay, and similarly page size, if it is greater than 10, greater than 10, fill the restricted to 10, limited to 10 only, and other than that, if it is less than 10, write page size. Okay, indent it a bit to make it cleaner. Okay, then all right, you can as well put this. This means this class, this keyword. It's not necessary to put. Okay, this dot page number equals page number. If it's less than 1, then it takes the value 1. The lower limit is 1, and if it is more than 1 or 1, then it is the actual page number. And this is the page size. If it is greater than 1, then take greater than 10, take the value 10. Otherwise, the variable page size, whatever is the value in the page size variable. Right. Again, let me build this. Shift B. Indent it further, slightly better. Make it more neat. Okay, and then this line, as I said, it states that the minimum page number is always set to 1 and the maximum page size is always set to 10. Okay, now we'll add this filter to our controller method. So come back to the customer controller and we'll have this get all. So rather than direct, there's no parameter, we'll put a parameter, and this is from query, from query string, from query. So if you see, it specifies that a parameter or property should be bound using the request query string. Okay, so from query, pagination filters. Okay, there is something missing. So light bulb icon using ASP NET 6 web API demo.filter. I'll add this folder and it will take care of this. Okay, I'll have to still build this, restarting the application. Alright, I'll build it, but I'll change this. So before the response statement, I'll put another variable I'll create. New pagination filter, filter dot page number, and filter dot page size. Automatically it has completed my action. So pagination filter. So where was pagination filter? So this has got two properties, page number and page size. Come back here. Alright, so valid filter, I have added the filter, and var responses await context.customers.toList async. This part remains unchanged, and return OK response. Alright, so in this line it reads the query string. As I told, it reads the query string on the request for page filter properties, and line 3, this validates the filter to a valid filter object, defaulting back to the allowed values. Okay, right, and then paging with entity framework core. At this juncture I will build it to get rid of all these squiggly lines. Now next we will be paging with the entity framework core, which is the actual paging. Now it's pretty easy with entity framework core. So instead of querying the entire list of data from the source, entity framework core makes it dead easy to query just a particular set of records, ideal for paging. Now here is how I would achieve it. So what I will do, below the var valid filter, I'll explain it later. Let me finish the coding. So valid filter into page size. Okay, now to list async, it's not required here. You'll have to wait for this. So await context.customers.skip. Skip is a method, extension method, and it bypasses a specified number of elements in a sequence and then returns the remaining elements. Dot skip valid filter dot page number, the page number of valid filter -1 into valid filter dot page size. Page size dot take. I'll get it here, bring it to the next line, dot take. Take valid filter into page size, and then finally to list async. Async. Okay, this is the complete gist of the things. It is doing all the pagination. All right. So adding await expression requires restarting the application. Okay, we'll restart it in a bit, and then let me complete this. So this page data is awaiting on context.customers.skip. It is skipping a certain number of records. So how much records it is skipping? Valid filter and page number. Suppose you have got the page number as 8. So 8 minus 1, 7 into page size, say 10. So this is 7 into 10, 70. So it will skip 70 to take to that page. Dot take. What does take do? it returns a specified number of contiguous elements from the start of a sequence. This is the start of the sequence. Take valid filter into page size. Page size is 10. It is skipping 70, first 70, okay, and then take the rest, you know, so 71 to 80, okay. So if we want the page number to be 8, so it has to jump from 1 to 7 to come to the page 8. That's what it is doing, and it is retrieving the list asynchronously. And then total records, get rid of this, it's not wanted here. Our response, so our total records, page data dot count, or let us wait again, wait, context dot customer dot count async. Fantastic, this already done it for me, okay. And then return okay. Now we'll get the paged response. This is where it changes due to our wrapper class. New paged response of list of customer and then a pair of empty braces in which and end with another circular bracket, and within this it will be containing the page data, valid filter, valid filter dot page data, valid filter dot page number, and valid filter dot page size. Finally, page size. Okay, that's all. So we'll build this. Now here this line total records, where this total records could be taken for further use, and this page wraps this line line 35, this wraps the page data in our page response wrapper. Now we have already implemented it actually. So now if we get to the browser, if we just hot reload this and look at this, okay, right, so you can see this is 10 items, okay, page number 1, okay. Now by default the API endpoint, it is returning the page number 1 with the page size 10. It is restricting, it is not showing any other page. But if I return the query string like this, question customer question mark, so this is now returning page number 2, page size 10. Okay, what happens if we return a page size of say more than 10? It still returns 10 records. Okay, so larger than 10 will also be defaulted to 10. What happens if I return a page size of say 8? So it returns actually 8. Okay, page size 8, total pages 0, total records 0, page number 2, page size 8. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Fantastic, we have already done our pagination. So in this lecture we have actually taken up API, web API that we have built with ASP.NET Core 6 or ASP.NET 6 that we did in the last lecture, and we took it to the next level of doing the pagination. Okay, so thank you.